Oh, you know this? It's Joan Cusack's iconic run to the control room with her tape in hand. She's ready to get this story on the air. What's actually happening in broadcast news in 1987? How would we do this today in 2024? How's the technology has changed? And what has stayed the same? Let's go to the scene. So there's this movie from 1987. It's probably one of my favorite movies of all time. It is Broadcast News. If you know this movie, you know this scene. Let's just watch it together and I'll explain each and every part, what's happening. You don't have to work in TV news to understand this, but I'm going to explain exactly what's going on.
Yeah. Speak to you later. Okay, Bobby, go back to 9:45:46. A sound bite in the alley. It starts. So why were you in Angola?
That's Holly Hunter and Bobby, the editor. She is in an edit bay. They are working on a story that they shot in Lincoln, Nebraska. The newscast is presumably like maybe on the air already. It's hard to tell. But it's very, very close. They are definitely going to miss their slot. They're going to miss the time that they have to get this story on the air. All the stories are already in the rundown for the night. The anchor is going to intro to the story and it may not be there.
Okay, Bobby, go back to 9:45:46. A sound bite in the alley. It starts. So why were you in Angola?
9:45:46, the sound bite that says, well, why were you in Angola? Let me explain what that is. She's referring to time code. That still exists in all video right now. This one says 6:53:40. She's saying 9:45:46. That means 9 hours, 45 minutes, 46 seconds on these old tapes right here. That would actually be encoded into the tape along with the audio and the video. So she's looking to find what the guy said using those numbers. That was the only way to do it back then. Let me show you how we do it today. So this is a story we shot about a tornado, and it was in Pensacola Beach, Florida. This is an interview with a guy who actually saw the tornado happen. So if I wanted to find what he actually said during this interview, I would just pull it into the timeline and then go to the text window here, and you can see instantly in the background, this has already transcribed.
Set it up, that's where this house was. In the garage, there was a garage door.
And it's way over there.
And it's over there on the side of the road.
She's looking for the word Angola by looking at the time code. If I wanted to look at Angola, I would just type it in here, or better yet, type in the word tornado, and it will show you every single instance somebody used the word tornado. Type in the word train.
Train hit.
All I would have to do now is use the words, so we're not looking for 9:45:46, so why were you in Angola? It's a lot easier today. Back to the movie. All that, that's the tape rewinding and fast forwarding and finding where it is in the tape.
You said I should observe it.
This is Tom Gurnick, the anchor and reporter, played by the late William Hurt. He has to type in that time code and find it.
Let me hear it.
He plays it back.
I'm not expecting any big homecoming.
Stop there.
No.
Dial, I want to shoot The Homecoming from a Norman Rockwell book I have in the office. You don't have enough time.
She wants to actually shoot the video from a book on a giant video camera that you would have to set up lights in the camera for and everything to get a painting into the story. That would take a long time and a lot of effort to do. Let me show you how we would do it today. Now, obviously, there's rights issues here, but I could just type Norman Rockwell Homecoming into Google image search and boom, there it is. I could right-click this, save image as, and then move it onto the desktop and then go back to Premiere. We just get that from the desktop right there. There's the Norman Rockwell painting. What we're gonna do is move this on to the timeline, and boom, it's already there, all nestled in the spot where it needs to be. Let's give it some movement, as the photographer would probably do in 1987. Bring it a little closer, move it up so you can see the soldier and his mom. Ease out, ease in, nice movement, and watch this. We already have the movement, and we can make it a little slower, into the painting. We can even have it start like this, ease into that push. So we already have the painting in the story here, and all we have to do is get some audio to go along with that, and that's what she's trying to do as well. Watch this.
You want copy?
Yes, all 15 seconds.
What does that mean? I want copy. 15 seconds. 15 seconds of copy. Albert Brooks, his character, Aaron Altman, is going to come up with 15 seconds of dialogue to go over that photo, and then she's going to wait for, Holly Hunter's Jane Craig is going to wait for that dialogue to come on tape from the recording booth, exactly 15 seconds, and then match it to the video that they took from the photo album.
The return of a fighting man has always been one of the more moving ceremonies of war.
So what he has to do is hold that stopwatch in his hand, find out how long 15 seconds is, then record it onto a tape like this that has to be run from the recording booth all the way over to the edit bay. Today, it's all one and the same. We have a recording booth and an edit bay all together. And I can use this mic or check. That's a little too loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check. Homecoming. Here, I'm going to do it just as Aaron Altman would do it. Homecoming. Norman Rockwell's enduring portrait. The return of a fighting man has always been one of the more moving ceremonies of war. Tearful women, proud men, excited children. But J.D. Singer was right. His homecoming was no big deal. Aaron Altman, Lincoln, Nebraska. What we're going to do is clean this up in Audacity. Homecoming. Get rid of all that junk up here. Export it really quick. Lossless WAV file. I'm going to go homecoming. Track. Okay. I'll even be fancy and go into my track folder and take that homecoming track and put it right in here. This is what it looks like. Excited children. So how long is that? 15 seconds? Let's just see. That's actually 22 seconds. Stretch to exactly 15 seconds. I would never actually do this because it's going to sound weird. Homecoming. Norman Rockwell's enduring portrait. The return of a fighting man has always been one of the more moving ceremonies of war. Tearful women, proud men, excited children. But J.D. Singer was right. His homecoming was no big deal. Aaron Altman, Lincoln, Nebraska. If you wanted to, you could actually do that. We have the technology to make something that's 23 seconds into 15 seconds. But just because you can do it doesn't mean you would do it.
Just a 2-second dissolve to the Rockwell.
Now, should I...
Just a 2-second dissolve!
Now, he's dissolving from the video to the Norman Rockwell photo that they shot
3 minutes.
in the studio.
Why do you do this to me?
How do you do that here in real life? Well, if I was to take this Norman Rockwell photo and I wanted a 2-second dissolve, I would just move it right to the video that we used and get rid of this audio so it doesn't confuse you. And then right under favorites, I've got a cross dissolve as a default. That's 1 second. I'm going to do a 2-second dissolve. Just type it in 2 seconds. And there is a 2-second dissolve to the Rockwell. And we could actually move this back and have it moving when you do that. Just a 2-second dissolve right between. Look at that. It's already moving and already giving that emotion in this photo here. You could put whatever background you want on that. If I wanted to put a CBS Evening News background on there, drop it in. And we're already seeing the production of how fast this would move in 2024. So here comes the tape with the voice track on it. He loads it into the deck. He has to play in real time the voice track onto the tape, mix the video and the audio together. Remember, you can't just drag and drop this stuff. It's ready, ejects from the machine, hands it to Joan Cusack, and go! Down under the filing cabinet. Over the baby. Down the hallway, you can already hear the anchor introing the story. She's taking an injury. Up the stairs to the Washington, D.C. control room. They're going to take this tape. They're going to put it into the feed It goes into the machine, 22,500 miles up, 22,500 miles down, KU band satellite, old school, and here it is playing on the air.
Portrait. The return of a fighting man has always been one of the more moving ceremonies of war. Tearful women, proud men, excited children. But J.D. Singer was right. His homecoming was no big deal.
But how would we do that today? How would we run the tape to the control room to feed it out to New York? Well, first of all, you got to render this out. Rockwell's enduring portrait. So what I do is go to export. Let's just go to the desktop and call it homecoming package Monday, and then export. Look, this is the equivalent of running it down the hallway would be doing this. You see how it says 19 seconds left right here? And that is where you'd actually be still sweating bullets like, oh my goodness, are we actually gonna make this work? Is it gonna get there? We got 8 seconds left. We're running it down the hallway. We're jumping over the baby. We're doing all of that, but it is ready. So now that we've got one file, we're gonna go to Sony C here, upload, and here's our homecoming package Monday. It is going. Go! See how it's uploading there to Sony C? Oh, it's almost ready. We got 6% complete, 50% complete. This is going really fast. Now it's up there. It's in New York right now, but it has to be processed before they can really download it. We're at 1% of that processing. This is where you'd still be sweating, but it's there. Here it is, and you can actually play this already. Homecoming. Norman Rockwell's enduring portrait. The return of a fighting man has always been one of the more moving ceremonies of war. They would download this, put it into the air server, then the director and the TD would have to play this out over the air. You would never actually cut it that close, but yeah, it's creative license. To look at one of my favorite movies of all time, starring, and you can see it there, William Hurt, Albert Brooks, Holly Hunter, and Peter Hackus. Who's Peter Hackus, you might ask? Well, Peter Hackus was married to Jessie Hackus. Jessie Hackus was Jessie Malkoff, who was my father's sister. So Peter Hackus was my uncle, who was a reporter at NBC News in the 80s. And once he lost that job, he went looking for something to do in Washington, D.C. They were shooting this movie. He said, well, I'll be an extra in the movie. He went and lined up to be an extra in the movie because Jessie said, go ahead and be an extra, do this thing, it doesn't really matter. And James L. Brooks saw him, recognized him from NBC Nightly News.
I think it's my responsibility to tell you that.
Okay, that's your opinion. I don't agree.
It's not opinion.
You're just absolutely right. And I'm absolutely wrong.
He put Peter in the role of Paul, who is the president of the news division in the movie, who notoriously, well, I don't want to say anything. If you want to see the movie, I really do want you to check this out. One of the best classic movies of all times, broadcast news. Hey, I don't normally do videos like this on YouTube and just testing something out and really just testing the streaming software and seeing what I can do. But I always thought it would be fun to look at the technology from then and the technology from today. YouTube is recommending this video for you to look at next. I've done a bunch of documentaries that you can look at here. Subscribe, and you can see 800, 900 videos that I've got right here on YouTube. Thanks so much.